All right. Let me stop playing with y'all. What the heck? Okay, welcome to another Hi. Hey girls. Wait. Hello, hello. And welcome to another episode of Fit, Fine, and Flowing with Sasha Janae. Ladies, I am so happy to be back with you today. Listen, today is a good day. But let me start off by telling you. I had a couple things to start off by telling you, okay? First of all, I got my hair done. Shout out to Nene on TikTok. I'm going to figure out how to share her content or whatever. If you're local, Port St. Lucie, excellent price. She did my hair. Chef's kiss. She did a really excellent job. She's in high school. She's making her little side money. I am here for every single stinking piece of entrepreneurship that I can support. So young lady did my hair. She's a fast braider. I got large knotless. I'm very pleased. I feel like the braids, one thing about me is I feel like I have like a weird shaped head. So I'm hard pressed to wear my braids down. So if it was boho, because you can kind of hide it behind the hair, behind the boho strands, I'll wear it down. But other than that, whenever I have straight plaits, I'm just like wearing it in a bun. First of all, got so many compliments today. Second of all, I woke up like this. Okay? So this is wonderful. Also, waiting patiently in line is our episode is brought to you today. Wait, damn. Our episode is brought to you today by Bloom. Now, let me tell y'all what is so amazing about Bloom. Like, first of all, the first time I tried it, I wasn't sure about the taste, but I think they went back to the drawing board, or I never just had that flavor again. Natural energy, mental focus, boost metabolism, probiotic, prebiotic fiber, because there's a difference between pro and pre, just by the way. There's apple cider vinegar in there, and it helps like with your mood and mental focus. So there's only 180 milligrams of caffeine in here. I will say, like, because Summer Splash is actually just a limited time type of deal, my second favorite, and it will be my first favorite once Summer Splash is off the market, this Shirley Temple is so delicious. So this is what I'm sipping on tonight. And let me tell you why I'm sipping on Bloom right now at this hour of hours, okay? Bloom and I are besties right now. We're locked in, first of all, every single Wednesday, because it says what? Positive mood. And I need that. I need to give you girls the energy, right? Also, we're menstrual. We're on our cycle. This puta is here again, okay? So I definitely say, like, I really, like, appreciate the boost, okay? And as you can see, it's kicking in. But also, today, I adulted my behind off, okay? I woke up late for work. I got to work only 6 minutes late today, okay? Let me think. I did all the work things. There wasn't a lot of work stuff to do. So, like, I adulted by just being there, being present, okay? I went home on lunch, and I made myself lunch at home. I had the most old ladiest lunch that you could ever imagine in your life. I had cottage cheese, pepperoni, and toast. Why? Because it was the quickest thing that I could grab without having to make anything. I only get a 30-minute lunch. But it was so satisfying. Like, it was so good. I think I'm, like, lit because I stuck to my macros today. And it's a Wednesday. I'm hard pressed to get a solid workout on Wednesdays because of everything that I do. Ladies, let me tell you about this leg, back, and tri day that I had today. Magnificent. So, if you're on my social media, which you absolutely should be, you've seen glimpses, okay? You have seen glimpses. The booty is tight. My triceps, they look so right. My back is on point or whatever. But all in all, my body is doing what I needed to do. So then I go into my photo album, okay? I go into my photo album and I look up July 2025. And I love a before and after. I love a before and after, okay? This is like, I live for a before and after. So last year to this year, we're talking, and I was just having a conversation with Joelle, we're talking like a matter of 20 or 25 pounds, bro. And the difference between last year to this year, recomp, ladies, recomp. We're not trying to get skinny. We are trying to recomp. What does recomp stand for? Recomposition, recompose? Compose sounds bad. We are growing our muscles and we're getting rid of our fat. That's what we're doing, okay? So the scale might say, oh, you're gaining weight. It's because muscle weighs more than fat, okay? We're not trying to be skinny minis. No, skinny mini, out of style. Healthy is in style. So healthy might be a slim, thickie, slim, you know, thickiana, whatever healthy dictates for your body, woman. Okay, that's what the goal is. So I'm just really excited. I'm super amped. I finally got to that red outfit. Like, it's all over my social media. I am activewear red outfit set that I finally got to wear on a workout. Like, it ate down. My general manager didn't even recognize who I was. She was like, ooh, hot mama. I said, hey girl, hey. So I'm like on a high. And then of course I started to come down while I was on my way. So I stopped off and I got Bloom and we're back. So I am also on a high because my babies come back today. So I've been stalking their location. They're in Louisiana right now. Or no, they're in Alabama. And so they should be home tonight at like 2:30. I'll be sleeping. They'll probably end up going to my mom's. But in the morning time, in the lunchtime, I'm going to go get my kids and I'm going to hug them and squeeze them and love them. I can't wait to see them. I'm actually very excited. Also, shout out to my baby Gabby. She wants to do a mother-daughter TikTok. So if you see that out there, support us. She wants to do fitness, mother-daughter content, get ready with me. Like, and I told her she's in charge of it because mommy just can't do another thing. I just can't have another thing on my plate. So she is 100% in charge of creative control. One thing I will say to all creators, no shade, no tea, y'all. I love you down. We're entrepreneurs, we're creators in this space. Like, I love y'all. I will say, and I'm always talking to myself first, please wipe your camera off. Front-facing camera, wipe it off. Back-facing camera, wipe it off. Don't only wipe it off, make sure the camera looks good and shiny and clear. Then open up your camera, make sure that when you're pointing and shooting, there's no cloudy spot over your camera. It makes a huge difference. When platforms are looking to monetize you, they want to monetize clear, good lighting videos, okay? And I know that doesn't always pose true, but if you're just starting now, and since it's already like, you know, it's people would say it's oversaturated. I don't believe in oversaturated at all because every single time somebody builds a McDonald's, they build a Burger King right across the street. But because there is such a vast community of creators, you want to make sure that you stand above them. You stand apart. There you go. You stand apart and you're on point about all your stuff. So good lighting, clean camera, key. And this is something that Gabby and I have already learned together, and we will continue to perpetuate in our new mommy-daughter content, okay? So, the end. No, just saying. So with all that being said, y'all, I want to talk to you. First of all, before I talk to you, before we get into our peaks and valleys topic, I want to, dang, what did I want to do? Peaks and valleys. Oh, I want to welcome all my viewers. So I want to welcome my seasoned viewers, my ones that have been there since day one, my ladies that have been shooting with me in the gym. Hey ladies, welcome back. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for spreading the word. Thank you so much for sharing the channel. We're at 98 subscribers. Huge deal. Listen, we're in the very beginning stages of this and the community is growing. So please, ladies, please continue to do your due diligence, share the episodes, like it, comment it, share it. I truly, truly appreciate everything that you do. Now, that brings me to my new viewers. Hello, ladies. Welcome to Fit, Fine, and Flowing with Sasha Janae. This here is a lifestyle podcast centered around fitness, health, and wellness, feminine wellness, most importantly, because I just feel like there's not enough platforms. There's not enough platforms for us women, first of all. Second of all, we're women of color, okay? Any type of standards that are set, social standards that are set are not centered around us. They're centered around the male, the Caucasian male, and we're here to change that. We're here to educate. We're here to give a platform to us, a space where we can be seen, a space where we can discuss, We're also the founders of All Things Vagina segment, where we are starting to open up the conversation about feminine wellness, vaginal wellness, without it being a taboo subject. Because a lot of times, whenever we have something to say about our vaginas and our feminine wellness, we're whispering, we can't say it out loud. It feels weird, it feels awkward, and honestly, we have always been taught to be seen, not heard. And I want to go ahead and get rid of that stinking thinking, because the more that we're vocal about what we're feeling and what we're going through, and we give each other a safe space to discuss it, the more that we can actually get the diagnosis that we need, the more that we can actually get the help that we need, because we are constantly in survival mode, going, hustle mode, going. And guess what? That dis-ease in our body starts to manifest in these terrible ways. But because we're ashamed of it, and because we're keeping our mouth shut and we're just hustle, we don't pay attention to it until it's too late. So All Things Vagina is about vaginal awareness, feminine wellness, making the conversation not a taboo, because hey, we're here. Like, you know how many coochies are in this world? Why isn't this world full of coochie love, vagina love? Why aren't we all like taking a 10-minute break to do Kegels together, right? When there's so many women on this earth, like be so for real. Anyways, I digress. So welcome to all my new viewers. Thank you so much for joining us. And let's get into it. So our first segment is peaks and valleys. Everybody, come on. No, I'm just playing. So first segment is peaks and valleys, okay? Peaks and valleys, because life is a constant changing ebbs and flows, okay? Without the sunshine, or there's no rain without sunshine, sunshine with no rain, you get my drift, okay? Rainbows, rain, sun, all that stuff, it works together, so we need that balance, okay? So I like to talk about peaks and valleys to start the episode, and I want you ladies to continue to give me feedback of your peaks and valleys, because it gives us the opportunity throughout the week to look for our peaks. Now, it's so easy to identify a valley because complaining is so much easier than praising, right? Just like frowning is so much, is it easier to frown than smile? Anyways. So our faces are usually permanently like, and then you have to put effort into smiling. So we want to put effort into finding the good things in life. Only the good things, okay? So peak of the week. What the heck is my peak of the week, honestly? I feel like a lot of good things happened this week. I feel like I've been working out. I've been working my butt off. Social media on the rise, like on point. I mean, I've been doing the things. I got to sit down and have my meeting with Sam. Excuse me. I always do this every episode. What is wrong with me? I got to sit down and have my content meeting with Sam. So I am Samantha Rosetta. That is my content creator mentor. So that was really excellent. Dang, have I been talking that long? Excuse me, put me so. Okay, I always say, like, I know I've been talking a long time when the light comes on, but that's crazy. Like, whatever. So let me think. But working my butt off. Social media, been killing it. Oh, I got a little creature. So I want you guys, and I'm not going to post pictures of him. Nah, I'm not going to post pictures of him, just in case my landlord sees this. But I got a gray son now. His name is Grayson. Grayson. And he's super cute. And that's all I'm going to share with you. Otherwise, I mean, all in all, it's been pretty good. It's been pretty mellow. I've had definitely a rest week, because what is our valley? You know what? And I have to, let me stop. I have to stop introducing this as a valley, because it's really not a valley. It is my body working properly. Is my body out with the old, in with the new, or in with the whatever. It's menstrual time again. Why? Like, we're here again, guys. We're here again. But I want to kind of introduce it as a peak, because my PMS has been so wonderful and balanced, I feel like the reason why it's been so wonderful and balanced, because I've been consistently working out, my diet has been on point, and I've been getting rest, which is what, if you didn't know already, if you didn't catch my drift already, this is what today's episode is about. I will, you know what? My valley actually is the fact that I've been a little lonely this last week, but of course I've been, hormonal. I also watched that episode of Grey's Anatomy. I literally made myself late because I was waiting for Danny Duquette to die so that I can cry with Izzy. It was an ugly cry. It was I needed it bad. Anyways, I guess that was my valley. So what was I gonna say? Rest. This episode is about rest, and y'all know when it's cycle time, I like to yap and I like to talk and I like to chat. Like, let's just get cozy with each other. Today is cozy day, okay? So, but also today is learning day. Today is the importance of rest, right? So, oh, this is it. Oh my God, this is the valley. This is the real valley. I can easily go back on YouTube, literally can do it right now and count the episodes. I think I messed up. And I'm going to have to go and edit all the stuff that I just posted, because I was posting that the episode that dropped today was episode 26, but it's actually episode 25. And this might actually be episode 26. That is literally you know how embarrassing that is? That is literally my valley. Super embarrassing. How are we losing count? What's happening here? But I get it though. It's like the brain fog of PMS. And it's okay though, because we're almost out of it. I can feel myself slowly seeping into ovulation. Like I'm very slowly becoming a little feral. So 6 weeks is, it's not 6 weeks anymore, but I got a little while to wait. I'm just going to be feral inside my privacy home. Anyways, so we are talking today. This episode is called Rest, a Requirement or a Reward. So how did I come up with this? Now, first of all, because I have been needing rest, like, oh my God, imagine being like super thirsty for water and just like not being able to drink enough water. That's how I've literally felt about my rest lately. It was probably been like a week and a half because of course PMS and then like actually being on my cycle. It's been ridiculous. I have been such a sleepy girl, just such a little sleepy girl. But then I've been messing up because at night I've been watching Grey's Anatomy to fall asleep because I'm like sick of being lonely. And anyways, I've been like, my sleep schedule is a little off, but even though my sleep schedule is off, I've been getting my naps in, okay? I have, every time I can sleep, I am sleeping. There's a little walk from my desk to the front desk when I go to cash people out or help out. I will close my eyes for 3 seconds from the walk and I will take like a 3-second nap to make it, to survive, okay? So anyways, rest, a requirement or a reward. Why the strongest women prioritize sleep. Now this is something, shout out to Amy, okay? This is something that I learned from Amy about how important our sleep and rest and recovery is. A lot of times we think our body is just like shutting all the way down. And that is literally not the case, okay? So I just really want to have an honest conversation with my sisters in flow about rest and recovery. I want to have this conversation because I'm speaking from a woman who is still healing from survival mode. I'm speaking from a woman in her 30s that is currently undergoing hustle culture and unlearning hustle culture. I'm speaking from the space of a woman who is a single mother, has a full-time hourly job that is more than full-time because I messed around and made myself important. Shout out to them, love them to life. I said single mom, I said full-time job, entrepreneur, content creator, okay, fitness. And then once I start to take on health and wellness clients, like health coaching clients, the community is growing. I'm already setting the date for the next spin class. I'll see you ladies in August, okay? So like stuff over here in this yard is super duper real. And a lot of times like hustle culture equates exhaustion with, yeah, atta girl, you did that. You did what you needed to do. Like you're out here hustling. You can sleep when you die. All these super duper duper toxic things that we tell ourselves that are the opposite of true, okay? Now, rest actually is not a reward, okay? After you've done everything, Rest is literally a requirement, and that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about sleep. We're going to talk about why sleep matters, how it affects your hormone, how it affects your weight. Now, I want my girls that are pre-perimenopause and perimenopause to open up your mind and your hearts and your thoughts to this, because a lot of women in their 30s feel like on their fitness journey, they're eating the right things, they're working out every single day, but they just can't get rid of this pooch here. They just can't, they feel like they've reached a plateau. And I want to go ahead and just like put it out there. This might be something that changes your routine and changes your journey a little bit for the better, hopefully, okay? So sleep affects your hormones, your weight, your mood, your workouts, and your relationships. Relationships are key. I have to rest. As busy as I am, I have to rest, and I have to take the time to rest because I need to have the energy to love and to build the community. And that goes for you too. You have to have the energy to love and build your family, to build your job, to build your businesses. We all have to stop pouring from an empty cup, okay? So let's see here. Let's ask this question. And there's a little controversy on this, so I don't want to like, I am a health coach, okay? I am telling you what works for me and what can work, but everything is on an individual basis, okay? So you make small adjustments, you take the best and you leave the rest. Don't go off here saying like, oh, that girl don't know what she's talking about. I don't need 8 hours of sleep, da 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 da. You don't have to do that. Take what applies to you and adjust accordingly, all right? So when was the last time you slept 8 hours without setting an alarm? I will say, exactly. Like, I don't know. I really, maybe last Tuesday, but I don't think that counts because I had to set an alarm to wake up for work because I probably would have slept through that too. Now, sleep matters because for my ladies in the fitness world, sleep matters. Why? Because your muscles are actually repairing as you sleep, okay? Your body can do its repair work and recovery work only in your sleep because otherwise you're going. Now, when you fall asleep, your body has a chance to get into the spaces that it can't get into while you're in wake mode. So your muscles, like I said, your muscles, your hormones, your immune system, your memory. Anybody suffer from brain fog? It's probably because we're drinking a lot of caffeine because we're not getting enough rest. Metabolism, brain function, your body literally has a night shift. So when we're sleeping, our body is still working. This is why it's so important. If we do not sleep, our body does not recover and repair. It's a very simple concept that we all overlook because we're so busy hustling. Baby, sit down, lay down, take a nap, stop. You are literally putting dis-ease in your body by not getting enough rest, okay? Disease is dis-ease, okay? So what happens when you don't sleep? Hormones. Sleep deprivation increases cortisol. This cortisol thing that's trending, everybody's talking about it, cortisol detox, blah, blah, blah. No, there's no such thing as a cortisol detox. I've said it so many times. Cortisol is a hormone that your body creates and needs to naturally create. However, our cortisol level has spiked tremendously because of sleep deprivation, because we're busy hustling, because we're busy doing the freaking most, and we're not giving our body enough chance to rest. So what does that do? That's stressing yourself out. Cortisol is your stress level, okay? Higher cortisol can mean belly fat. And I tell this to all my women 30 plus. That stubborn belly fat that we cannot get rid of has a lot to do with your cortisol levels, okay? Now, let me also break it down a little bit more. The sugar that we consume. And I'm going a little bit ahead of myself here. But if you ever notice, like when you're PMSing, you crave a lot of salty, savory stuff. A lot of times we're craving the sweet stuff. I meant to say savory and sweet. A lot of times we're craving the sweet stuff because our body is preparing to release that egg and clean out the uterine lining. So we need more rest because our body is about to gear up to do a bunch more work. So because we're more sleepy and we're likely not readjusting our sleep schedule according to our cycle, we crave sugar. You crave sugar when you're tired, okay? So belly fat is going to come from the raised cortisol. That raised cortisol is probably causing you to eat sweets, and that sugar is going to sit right here, especially if you're perimenopausal or perimenopausal, okay? Inflammation, anxiety, and a slower recovery. That one goes without being said. Like I just said, hunger, poor sleep increases, and I definitely took notes because some of these terms I'm not familiar with. So I just wanted to make sure I say the right thing, okay? So poor sleep increases, I've been struggling to say this, okay? It's ghrelin, Ghrelin. Nobody judge me, okay? Because I can read, that's just a crazy word. So basically, the hunger hormone, poor sleep makes that hunger hormone shoot up. It also decreases leptin, which is the hormone that tells you you're full. So that's why it's like you got the munchies. When I'm in my PMS mode and I haven't gotten the amount of sleep that my body needs, I feel like I got the munchies. Like, oh my God, did somebody give me a weed brownie? Because what? I just need to eat and eat and eat and eat and eat. Luckily, I was in a space that I got a lot of rest this menstrual cycle. My appetite is so on point. My nutrition is so on point. I am astonished at how the human body functions when you give it the love and attention that it actually needs. Okay. So suddenly after you sleep for 4 hours, you got a short sleep cycle, you wake up and you automatically want to feed. But not only do you want to feed, you don't want your healthy protein oatmeal. You want junk. You want a blueberry muffin. You want the eggnormous burrito from Burger King, okay? And it's really not a lack of discipline, because a lot of times I used to be like, damn, like, why can't I just get it together? Why can't I just eat right? It's literally my hormones being thrown off because I am not giving my body a chance to recover. It's biology. It is how we were created. So recovery, no sleep, no muscle repair, meaning you can go ahead and listen, go baby, go work out, go kill it, do the best leg day you've ever had, then turn around and do the cardio that you're supposed to do, go sit in the sauna, do all the things. But guess what? If you're not giving your body proper recovery, your body is not going to reflect the hard work that you're putting into it. And why are we working so hard? You know what a sacrifice it is to literally go to the gym before or after work? You know what a sacrifice it is to go to the gym or get a workout, not necessarily just go to the gym, but literally intentionally move your body when you have a full-time job and children? That is an insane sacrifice, and we are squandering it because we're not giving ourselves a chance to recover. What do I mean by not giving ourselves a chance to recover? I am a key example. I've watched Grey's Anatomy like 3 times now, all the way through. Watching Grey's Anatomy until I fall asleep, but the episodes are always so juicy. Even if I've already seen it, they're so good. So I'm not going to bed at 9 p.m. and 10 p.m. when I should, when my body feels exhausted, okay? Scrolling, that blue light, scrolling is no bueno for us. We need to start, and I'm getting ahead of myself. But there are certain things that we're doing that are so easy to prevent and give us some of that recovery time back, okay? If you only sleep for 4 hours, your body is never able to fully rebuild, okay? Your mood, and this one's a big one for me because I cry when I'm tired. I'm literally like a newborn baby. If I get tired enough, I will just straight up just start crying. I will be just mad sad, and I'm irrational, okay? So there's less patience, there's more anxiety, of course, higher stress, lower emotional regulation, and everything just feels harder. You ever been around somebody that just complains a lot? Everything is an issue. They just kind of walk around like, that person is probably not getting enough sleep, okay? Now your brain. I think one of the biggest like red flags to perimenopause, and one of the things that I know, like I'm pre-perimenopause, because not only because I'm 37, but because the brain fog that I go through and suffer from. Now, it's a cycle, okay? I don't get enough sleep. I eat poorly. I over caffeinate, and the eating poorly, not getting enough sleep, and over caffeination contributes to brain fog. So I do red light therapy, which does help, but it's literally like putting a Band-Aid on the situation, because really I need to break the cycle of poor sleep, poor diet, and too much caffeine. Okay, so I am a little bit more intentional with my caffeine. I have my energy drink once a week normally. When I'm on my cycle, I will say I probably have one more than once a week. Or like a hard, busy week, I'll have one more than once a week. But I recently brought my caffeine from 800 milligrams a day down to about like I'm around 400, maybe 500, which is pretty good for me because, baby, it gets real. Okay. Also, your blood sugar. One night of poor sleep can actually make your insulin sensitivity lower. So basically, it'll be harder for your body to regulate your blood sugar, and your insulin is your pancreas is basically working overtime, and it's associated with a higher risk of insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. And I just want to pause right here because one thing about this space is my lived experience is a Black woman. I am Black and Hispanic. So speaking from that particular demographic, we are naturally predisposed to the risk of diabetes. We are more prone to that than our counterparts. And one of the reasons is because of survival mode. One of the reasons is because we're so busy being stressed out and not getting enough rest. Our insulin sensitivity is all jumbled up. Our hormones are all jumbled up. So guess what? We're getting diabetes left and right because we're not figuring out the source of the actual issue because we're too busy on go. Sisters in flow, have a seat and relax. Okay. So how much sleep do women need? And this one here is a little controversial. This is where I will say, take the best and leave the rest, because when I'm on my menstrual cycle, I honestly feel like I need 14 hours of sleep. It's ridiculous. And sometimes I'm going to get that. Okay. Luckily my kids are older. They've been gone for the summer, but luckily they're older. So if I need 14 hours of sleep, I'm going to get it, because listen, go make noodles, go make eggs, go eat cereal. Y'all going to be good. Y'all going to survive. They are going to survive. Or I could be a productive human being mother and cook dinner in a crock pot the night before, because I know that I'm coming home and I'm going to sleep and nobody better bother me. Okay. So according to my research, how much sleep do women need? For most adults, 7 to 9 hours. But there's going to be, according to your cycle, and honestly, if we synchronized everything around our cycle, I think life would be perfect or damn near. Okay. You need more sleep during your luteal phase. That's when your body's preparing to go into your menstrual cycle. Your menstrual cycle, because your body is literally shedding your uterine lining. You're bleeding your own blood. You need to relax. When I tell you, and anybody who's watching this with ovaries, the majority has ovaries. The minority does not have ovaries. You gentlemen are still welcome, because you need to know this information for your daughters, sisters, mothers, cousins, best friends. Okay. The frequency at which I bleed on day 2 and 3 is ridiculous. It worries me every single month that maybe I need to go to a hospital, but it is literally just my cycle. Now, my cycle has improved since I've gotten tighter about my nutrition, since I've basically since the end of summer 2025, when I really, really, really locked in. That is the lock in. Stop the starting stopping. That's when like Sasha Janae really emerged and said like, listen, I'm tired of playing with you. Let's do this, right? When I locked into health and wellness, like for good, and didn't do the pattern of starting stop is what I'm trying to say. So my menstrual cycle has improved since then. How has it improved? It's a day shorter. I have more light days than I do heavy days. But day 2 and 3, I'm talking ultra tampon, overnight pad every hour to 2 hours. That's insane. Tell me my iron isn't deficient and I don't need rest, okay? Those days I feel disoriented because, I mean, the amount of blood I'm losing. So those days I really, really have to be intentional about what I'm consuming and about how much rest I'm getting, okay? Whenever you're sick, your immune system needs time to repair itself when you get sick. There's a war inside your body when you're sick, okay? You gotta fuel that war. How do you fuel it? By getting rest, okay? Anytime you're in a period of high stress, stop and take a nap. If you have time to put a nap in there, even a 15-minute car nap will make a difference. You just give your brain just a little moment, just a little moment. It's important. I really, really encourage it. And then also intense training right now. I would say I'm in a period of intense training because something just clicked. I said, you know what, body? You know what? We're going to get there. And so by February 2027, I want to be in maintenance. That means over these next 6 months, Big Mama has work to do. And I'm doing the work, okay? I'm doing the work. I haven't stopped doing the work, but I just am very aware that I have come a long way, but I still have a long way to go, okay? Normalize sleeping more, not sleeping less. Listen, hustle your hearts out, babies, but prioritize sleep, okay? Now, the busy mom conversation. I am a mother. My mothering experience is a little bit different than some of my friends because I have a 16-year-old, I have a 10-year-old and a 6-year-old. My 6-year-old is about to be 7, my 10-year-old's about to be 11, and my 16-year-old, he got a little while, right? Now, the dynamic has shifted a little bit because I was very intentional about not parentifying my children, okay? And, nobody be offended by this, but I had my children. It was never my oldest responsibility to be parentally responsible for the other kids. That's just how I run my household. I let him be a kid. He's never changed either of his sister's diapers. That's just my life, right? Same for my 10-year-old and my 6-year-old. My 10-year-old, she definitely looks out for her sister because they're girls, but she's never changed diapers. She only bottle feed, she only helped with the bottle whenever she wanted to and asked to because that's her baby doll. And it's a little different dynamic when you have girls versus when you have boys. Because my son was disinterested. He wanted to play with her and then he was over her. You know what I'm saying? For my 10-year-old, the baby was like a baby doll. Anyways, I say all that to say the mom conversation. I am in a different space of motherhood because all my kids are self-sufficient. They always have been. But they're at these ages now where everybody can feed themselves if they need to. Nobody can drive, okay? Nobody can drive. We're almost there. But everybody's super independent. So I do not have to helicopter mom or hover. Now I got to transport them. I do enjoy cooking for my children, knowing that they got a hearty meal in. I do enjoy spending time with my children. But my children also understand that mommy has the entrepreneur bug real bad. So y'all might need to fly with me to do some business stuff. Y'all might need to come to work with me. Y'all might need to XYZ. You know what I'm saying? So I am very, very blessed in that sense. When you work full time, run a business, take care of children, maybe you also have a spouse. You wanna also make sure that you're making time for your extended family, okay? You need to work out, you need to meal prep, you need to build a dream. There's so much that goes into the life of a woman mother. I am not taking away from that whatsoever, okay? But the hard truth is you cannot pour from an empty cup forever. That is unfortunately why a lot of women end up with, these ailments in their older age because they've just been pouring from an empty cup for so long. And it does not do your body a service. I understand right now I'm in hustle mode in a sense of we finally hit momentum, we got motion, the community is growing, but I also have the foresight to say like, hey, listen, I need to sit down and slow down because I'm not going to be able to give the growing community what they need. I'm not able to give myself what I need. I'm not able to love on my children the way they need to be loved on if I don't make sure that I take care of Sasha. Because who's going to do all this if Sasha Janae is down and out, right? So I think that sometimes we have to recognize, we have to be more intentional about being in tune with our bodies and recognize when you're running on empty, okay? So when you wake up exhausted, that sounds redundant. You go to bed dead and you wake up, wait, what's the saying from a scary movie? My girl knows. If you know, you know. So waking up exhausted is certainly a sign that you're running on empty, okay? Waking up and needing coffee immediately. That one's subjective because coffee is a habit. The way Folgers in your cup smells in the morning, what do you mean? Yes, I want that. That is it. It's not even the cup of coffee. It's the smell for me, okay? Your 2 p.m. crash has a lot to do with your cortisol levels and your diet, okay? Craving sugar every afternoon, getting home from work. Well, I get home from work at 3, so I kind of work school hours, but like wanting to go home and like eat everything sweet in sight, that is a sign that you're running on empty. Feeling irritable, that one's like an obvious red flag. Getting sick often. Last episode, I talked about how whenever I'm not getting enough sleep, I will straight up shut down and get tonsillitis or have like the craziest flu-like symptoms with no germs. It's insane. Or you plateau in the gym. And this is what I'm talking about, ladies. If we're not giving our bodies enough time to recover, we're going to be like, oh, I'm eating right. I'm working out every single day. I go to the gym. I take the classes. I don't know what's wrong. Nothing's happening. It's because nothing is happening. It's because your body is not able to recover because you're not giving your body rest, babe. Okay? So we need to figure out what we can do to improve our sleep score. First of all, what's a sleep score? Basically, it's like this thing, Apple Watches have it, and the little Aura rings and all those sleep trackers have it. And your sleep score is more so about your REM sleep, which is deep sleep, okay, than the whole entire 8 hours. Because I think for when it comes to REM and your sleep score improves based on the longevity of REM, like the REM that you're able to achieve. But I think normally adults only stay in REM like maybe 1 to 2 hours, or that's just me because I'm getting there. So your sleep score isn't just about like getting enough sleep, because you can get like 12 hours, you could get like 12 hours of sleep and still be exhausted. It matters. REM sleep is what matters, and that is deep sleep, and how often you get the right amount of REM sleep. That's why I feel like that 7 to 9 hours is subjective, because you can get your REM hour in a nap. It just kind of depends on that individual person, okay? So restlessness, if your mind is just racing, or you're dreaming all night, like that's probably not going to be REM sleep. REM sleep is that peaceful, deep, refreshing sleep, okay? Like I said, smartwatches, rings, they can estimate the metrics, and then you can start to pay attention to that. But listen, I am such a simple girl. I don't think all that's necessary. Every once in a while, I fall asleep with my watch on, and then I feel like somebody's like holding my wrist in my sleep, and it's just not comfortable to me. It's just not my thing. I don't have a ring, and I haven't had a ring. I might try and do like a off-brand type of version just to see what the hype is. But your sleep score, that I just wanted to explain that to you. You want to improve your sleep score, okay, for lack of like better words and phrases. So 10 ways to improve your sleep score. Number 1, go to bed at the same time every night. Just as much as you're consistent in the gym and you go to work and you hit the clock for them 40 hours, that's as consistent as you want to be when it comes to your sleep, rest, and relaxation. Consistency trains your internal clock, okay? Now, for example, me, I should be in bed by 9 o'clock. Asleep by 10 o'clock, wake up at 4:30, okay? That's not necessarily how my life goes, but there are ways to prevent the jazz in the mix of stopping me from getting my rest on my average cycle, okay? Now, what I will say is that when I'm on my menstrual cycle, I just have this thing where I just sleep in. I oversleep, I hit snooze, whatever. Not really whatever, because I'm going to get over that as well. I can definitely grow from there. But I wake up about 6:31 or 6:41 every single day on my cycle. It's ridiculous. And just so y'all know, I cannot get ready in 15 minutes. I don't care what is already done. I need more than 15 minutes to get ready. Just a side note, okay? So number 2, morning sunlight. So this one is kind of like, I don't understand the mechanics of this very much, but I understand that it is universal when it comes to improving your sleep score. So morning sunlight, 10 to 20 minutes of outdoors within the first hour of waking helps to reinforce your body's natural sleep-wake cycle. My thing is, sometimes when I wake up, it's not sunny. And I know that we're going to stop daylight savings time. If you didn't know, now you know, look it up. I didn't really look it up. I just heard it, and I think it's a real thing. Anyways, when I wake up, the sun is not out. So at 4:30 a.m., I'm getting outside exposure, but I'm not necessarily getting sunlight exposure. So that one confuses me a little bit. But I will say when I do get in the routine and like the consistent habit of waking up at 4:30, like that's it. It's a wrap. That's what my body is so happy in that space. Okay. Stop caffeine earlier. I have actually put this one to the test. Try avoiding caffeine within about 8 to 12 hours of bedtime. Everyone metabolizes caffeine differently, so you may need a longer window if you're more sensitive. So first of all, I have been in a space where this is what I meant when I put it to the test. I wake up, I do my walk, I do 2.5 miles on the bridge, and then I come home and then I take my caffeine supplements or drink my coffee, whatever have you, right? That is a sweet spot for my life in my body, okay? My bed has been really comfortable lately, haven't been there. But then there is cutting off caffeine sooner. Now me, I am notorious for a late caffeine. Like I crave coffee when I get off of work, you know, I feel like it's my pick me up because I'll come home sometimes and be able to get at like an hour nap. And then I'll but then I caffeinate to get through whatever my evening demands of me. So I think this is personally something that I can tweak, okay? So number 1, go to bed at the same time every night. Number 2, morning sunlight, 10 to 20 minutes of outdoors within the first hour of your waking. Number 3, stop caffeine earlier in the day. Number 4, keep the room cool. I cannot tell you how much I used to really, really hate sleeping with the polar bears. It used to drive me crazy having to go to bed in a cold house, but now I crave it. I drop the temperature every single time. My kids sleep more sound. I sleep amazing. Everybody sleeps so good. You just need a good blanket, okay? So drop the temperature in the house. This is not the time to turn the AC off and put the windows up, okay? Number 5, reduce screen time. Blue light can interfere with your body's melatonin production. Sounds familiar. So try reading instead. And this is a biggie. As soon as I open a book, I'm tired. That is literally my melatonin dosage, okay? So say for example, if I am in bed at 9 o'clock, ideally I would put my phone aside and give myself until 10 o'clock to fall asleep, okay? This includes your TV. Okay, this includes your phone. This includes all the electronics around us. So if you read in soft light, that will help your body to start to calm down. Even better, if you have like light dimmers or something, or you have like night lights that are amber. Amber is a really excellent way. An amber light bulb is a really excellent way to prepare your mind. Your body is like, it's tricking your body into saying, oh, I guess I am sleepy. I guess it is time to go to bed, okay? So that's a really excellent tool to use. Number 6, don't doom scroll. That goes with the one before. Protect your peace before bed, which is important because sometimes we might see something that bothers us. Like sometimes if I'm watching a crazy movie before I go to bed, I am in that movie when I go to sleep. And am I in REM? No, I'm not. I'm fighting for my life. So don't doom scroll. Watch what you watch before bed. Create a wind down routine. Stretch, these are all options, right? Stretch, journal, pray, read, meditate. What you want to do is you want to go ahead and screw in those amber light bulbs and signal to your brain, we're safe. It's okay for us to start to disengage and disconnect and go to sleep. Number 8, don't eat huge meals right before bed. Give digestion time. This one is rough for me because sometimes I eat and go right to sleep. And that doesn't necessarily mean I eat late and go right to sleep. Sometimes it be early and I eat and I go right to sleep. I love to eat and sleep. Help me. Somebody send help, okay? Number 9, exercise regularly. Exercise gives you energy, but it gives you the like sustained energy your body needs. Then we throw in all the caffeine and all the extras that aren't 100% necessary. And I feel like if we could just go back to the drawing board and get intentional movement, eat properly, put the devices down, I think that our routine and like our sleep cycle, like we will get the REM that we need, okay? And number 10, stop glorifying exhaustion, okay? Being exhausted and tore down is not a badge of honor. You'll look crazy, okay? We could tell how tired you are. And I'm saying this to myself first, right? But all that stuff is always going to be there when you wake up. So you can either exhaust yourself by trying to do 10 things at once, which there's no real such thing as multitasking, Or you can say, I'm going to get this done and I'm going to rest and I'm going to go back at it tomorrow. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean to use excuses. That does not mean to say, oh, I'm tired, I'm just going to eat it. No. If it needs to be done and it's overtime, you're probably not sleeping because you ain't doing what you need to do. Get up and do what you need to do so you can have a restful sleep, so you can enter into that REM. If you're, and this is just me adding at the end, if your bedroom is dirty, get up and clean it up. That chaos around you is probably preventing you from actually achieving that high sleep score in REM, okay? Because you're surrounded by chaos. There's no calm. Your body and your mind does not feel safe. Get up and clean your room. It's very simple. My room gets messy very easily, so I'm speaking to myself always first, okay? Let's see here. So last week I challenged you to consider what would, before you make a decision, to think to yourself, what would your highest version of yourself do, right? So this week's flow challenge of the week is going to be, the challenge I have for you sisters in flow is going to be to aim for a consistent bedtime. This one's hard. This one's hard for me. Put your phone and devices, this includes TVs, away 30 minutes before bed. Get outside in that morning light at least 3 times a week, and then see how your energy changes. Now, I'm a big proponent of write it down, journal it down, because you need to know. Like, a lot of times I try and feel like I'm remembering stuff, and I'm not remembering nothing. Like, I don't be knowing, even my grocery list. So if you maybe keep a little sleep journal and kind of track, like, okay, so today I went to bed on time. I put the phone away 30 minutes before I was asleep. I got outside for my 4:30 a.m. walk. Like, damn, I was able to really kill my day. I had an excellent workout today. Okay, well, I scrolled until I fell asleep, and man, I was exhausted and I felt like I needed 7 coffees. Like, if you start to document your journey, it's going to make a bigger difference, because then your documentation is holding you accountable and showing you what changes you need to make. Okay. Now, when it comes to all things vagina segment, we've had this conversation, right? Our girl, the vagina is beautiful, complex, but she's also very simple. She needs simple things, okay? Now, does a lack of sleep affect hormones? We already talked about this. It absolutely affects hormones. I told y'all last week, it is not Volcano Bay here at the water park when I am stressed out or I don't get enough sleep, okay? Volcano Bay, for those of you that don't live in Florida, it is a water park, okay? Whatever, it was a bad joke, it was bad. So yes, everything intensifies. Everything feels bigger than it actually is when you don't get enough sleep. Get enough sleep. You want a water park? Get enough sleep. You want easy PMS? Get enough sleep. You want a calm, cool, and collected menstrual cycle. You want to shorten your cycle. You want to just have a better cycle overall. Get enough sleep. There's a theme here, okay? So now I want to leave y'all with the fact that hustle culture is dead. Okay, and I say that in the most positive way. I say that because we are stepping out of hustle culture and stepping into the culture of balance. We're stepping into a space where we are recognizing that we need rest, where we are recognizing that survival mode just ain't it. And there are things that you can do to take yourself out of survival mode. Millennials will probably be healing from survival mode the rest of our lives, because we're literally having to survive so many changes. Global warming, okay? The internet age. Now we got the AI drying up all the water. The introduction of technology at this speed of light. I mean, the everything, okay? We are probably going to be healing from survival mode for the rest of our lives, which is perfectly fine as long as the kids can do better, right? But a huge proponent of that is making sure that you're intentional about your rest. If you feel like you hit a plateau and you're doing all the things, baby, go take a nap, okay? Prioritize your sleep. Write it in your calendar. Itemize your day out and say, okay, For example, I get off of work at 3 o'clock. I'll be home at about 3:15. I'm going to set an alarm till 4:30 and I'm going to go to sleep and then I'm going to wake up. I'm going to clean the kitchen so that it's ready for dinner. I'm going to go exercise and then I'm going to come home and I'm going to cook my dinner. Like that's how, if you're serious about life and success, even if you're not building a business, even if you just want your tomorrow to be easier, you might have to get that serious. You might have to start to plan everything until it becomes a routine, because it's really just a lack of routine and discipline. And so once you catch that routine, you won't be too tired to put away the laundry and fold it. You won't be too tired to wash the dishes before bed, because now it's a part of your routine. So damn, like I feel weird when I don't wash the dishes. Let me get up and get those dishes done. Now I can sleep peacefully, right? And then also you're setting yourself up for a positive morning. I'm going to cook breakfast at home instead of going out and spending money on processed food because I woke up to a clean kitchen. All these habits are compounding, guys. And also rest on your menstrual cycle. Like, I put cover up on, but the dark circles under my eyes, they are in such a better place than they were before. My period, aside from day 2 and day 3, knock on wood, wherever it is, has been amazing. And as soon as day 2 and 3 are over, it's like light, which is amazing for a woman who has a 7-day period. Now we're at like 6.5 days, dare I say 6 days, okay? And I know that it's not TMI because all of us have ovaries here, hopefully, right? But that is life changing, because your girl used to bleed heavy for about 5 days, heavy, and then regular the last 2 days. And then sometimes it would even last into the 8th day. I'm not that girl. I don't like that. I'm not that girl. I live in Florida. I want to go to the beach on the weekends, okay? I don't want to be bleeding for that long. I'm grateful that my body is working well, but I have done things and changed things up to make my body healthier. And now that my body is healthier, I function better. And that's how that works. So, Sisters in Flow, I hope that you enjoyed this conversation. A lot of time when we're on our cycle, and maybe we're synced now, a lot of time when we're on our cycle, I just really want to emphasize, letting our hair down, a little bit of YAP, like, how are you? Let's check in. Let's figure out how we can implement different things that lead to us having just an easier cycle, an easier week. Our bodies are going through so much when we're on our cycle. And if we start to pay a little bit more attention to our body, and we start to get a little bit more intentional about how much love we give to our bodies, especially when it's working its hardest, then I think that our bodies will repay us by starting to regulate and balance more. And that's really what we want. That's really why we're here. So Sisters in Flow, thank you so much for coming. I love having you ladies here. I didn't do the song of the week. Oh my God. I didn't do the song of the week. You know what? I'm going to take it a little old school and say 3 Little Birds by Bob Marley and the Wailers, because my babies are coming home and I'm just so excited. Funny story about that is it's a song that really calms my spirit. And when I was giving birth to my 6-year-old, I had a C-section, and the surgeon and the nurses were singing 3 Little Birds to me while my baby was being born. It was beautiful because they didn't sound crazy. It was like they trained for that their whole lives, and that's how she was born into the world. So I'm really psyched about the kids coming home. I'll probably want them to get out of my face immediately after, but God is so good, bringing them home safe and sound, and the experiences that they had and the core memories that they made with my mom. So I am a happy camper. Anyways, I'm yapping again. I love y'all. Have a wonderful, blessed week, and I will see you when we're nice and feral and ovulation time is happening. Have a great day. Mwah.